What's your goal? I'm talking short-term and long-term. What's your goal today? What's your goal this next year or 5 or 10 years? I can tell you this, no matter what your goal is, and this is backed up by research, if you don't learn to deal with distractions, and there are many of them these days, you probably won't reach that goal. So here's the good news. We have some ideas on how to deal with and even eliminate distractions as I'm joined by my guest, Sir John Hargrave, on today's One Simple Thing podcast.
It's time to build a better business by building a better you. This is One Simple Thing.
Hey there, Dave Kirby with you, and thanks for listening to another episode of the One Simple Thing podcast. Really excited about today's episode 372 as once again Sir John Hargrave joins me. It's a fun conversation, but it's also got some real actionable, simple advice on how you can eliminate distractions in your life. Hey, before we get started, would invite you to go to our website, pick up a brand new PDF we have available. It's called Belief Replacement Therapy. We have heard many, many times on this show how important it is to have beliefs that back up our goals, right? If I'm thinking of myself as a loser or saying words like I can't or I'll never or whatever, then chances are we're probably not going to get where we want to go. But if we could replace those beliefs with new empowering ones, then it gives us much better odds that we're going to reach our goals. And that's what this PDF is all about. Helps you identify limiting beliefs in your life and then replace them with a corresponding positive belief. Then it's up to you to drill that belief home. So it's a download free. It's just a one-page PDF. You can download it when you sign up for our mailing list, and that is available at onesimplething.online.com. All right, on with the show. Sir John Hargrave is an author of young adult books. He's also editor-in-chief of Zug, the world's oldest humor website. He's appeared on Comedy Central, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, MSNBC, the BBC, and more. He's CEO of content marketing company Media Shower, and he's author of the book Mind Hacking: How to Change Your Mind for Good in 21 Days. That book is available through the banner ad on the website. Again, that's onesimplething.online.com. Let's welcome Sir John Hargrave in. Thanks for being here today, bud.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
We are talking about your book, which I love the title, Mind Hacking: How to Change Your Mind for Good in 21 Days. And at the end of last episode, we determined that it's not just about changing your mind like I was going to have a brownie, but maybe not. It's more like literally changing the way you think about life, and which goes into, I think, maybe just a quick description of what you describe as mind hacking. How would you define that?
Yeah, well, we use hacking in the original sense. For the original computer hackers, hacking was a badge of honor. It was a way of cleverly solving some problem. So it was like a technique or a shortcut, but it was a good thing. And that's what we're trying to do, is find clever techniques to use to reprogram our own minds so that we're more positive, more successful, and happier human beings.
Yeah, because I think most of us, when we think about the word hacking, we think about some kid in his basement who's about to set off the nuclear arsenal or whatever.
That's right. But not that kind of hacking.
It's more about learning the inner workings of how our brains and our minds and our emotions, et cetera, work, and then finding and optimizing those so that we can have a better life.
It's just like a programmer goes in and looks at a program, debugs the code, and makes it work better. That's the same approach that we're taking with our own minds. It's really cool.
You say to master your mind is to master your life. And I think that's something this show is dedicated to. Our byline is build a better business by building a better you.
Yeah.
So, if we want to build a better me, then everything in our lives improves at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. It does. So I run a company called Media Shower, and we're big believers that when you improve yourself as a person, you're going to improve the business. So we have the same philosophy. We spend a lot of our time training our own team and teaching them a lot of the mind hacks in this book, because when you get better at managing your own mind, you will naturally become better at doing your job and serving your customers and making a difference in the world.
Well, speaking of employees, and I think we all struggle with this, whether we're the boss or the employee, is this day and age we live in that's just full of constant distractions, right? I mean, if you could if you could have a group of employees that don't check Facebook once throughout the entire day, you could probably rule the world, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If I could just not check Facebook throughout the rest of the day, I'd probably rule the world.
Yes.
So it's difficult these days, isn't it?
It is incredibly difficult. There is no end to the digital distractions that surround us. And there's a ton of research that shows that the more distracted you are and the more you try to multitask, the less you get done. So this is well known, well documented, but we all kind of feel like we're immune from it, right? Like we all kind of think we're the person that can simultaneously, juggle 20 windows while listening to a conference call. But you can't.
I think it's expected of us. I mean, we all talk about how multitasking is bad, blah, blah, blah. But the person who doesn't, I think, is almost looked down on, like, why aren't you more efficient or whatever,
I am amazed at how many companies, ask their employees to be on instant messenger or, available via Skype all the time. And all that's doing is wrecking your concentration and productivity, because every time somebody sends you a text message or instant message, it basically pulls you out of that flow. And we all know this. Like, this happens to us all day long. You're working on something, somebody text messages you, you stop what you're doing. So all the research says if you want to be effective and you want to live up to your full potential, get rid of that stuff, turn it off, and then you'll be more focused and happier.
I had a guest recently on the show, and I think he called it an attention blink or a brain blink. When we have to shift focus to something, even if it's just for a few seconds, our brain literally blinks, and it takes about 70 to 90 seconds to kind of get refocused back on what we were on initially. So even just that ding of an email can really set us back. You take those 70 and 90 seconds and add them up throughout the day. It's a huge amount of productivity we're losing.
That's right. Now, what you can do is create areas or times throughout the day where you can respond to those things, but you do it on your terms. So in other words, you don't have to have your phone by your side at all times, ready to jump at every text message. You can wait, and once an hour or once every 3 hours, take a look at the messages that have come in, and then you can respond to them then. And this is what all the research shows will result in the maximum productivity for you. But also, every time we have one of these little things interrupt us, it calls what David Allen, the author of Getting Things Done, he calls it psychic clutter. And I love that term because that's what it is. It's like an unfinished task loop, an open task loop that you feel you have to close. And if you can get rid of those loops, literally turn them off or get them out of your sight, get them out of your way, you will feel so much less anxious and less stressed, and you'll get more stuff done.
I was going to ask you about that because, in the last episode, we learned that kind of this whole idea of mind hacking grew out of your own desire to overcome addictions in your life and kind of get things straightened out. So how is this eliminating distractions? What benefit does it bring? And I think you just answered that question, that it helps us de-stress to a certain level, right?
It really does. And, I started out my career as a programmer. And when you're programming, you're in the zone. Like, you have to have, that's why programmers always wear headphones, because you've got to be absolutely focused. You're 6 levels deep in your code. And then if somebody comes and just taps you on the shoulder, it's like the whole thing is like a superstructure that just collapses at that moment. And it does take you time to get back into that. We're all like that. If we're in doing a report or a proposal for a client or anything that requires deep concentration and focus, as soon as we get pulled out of that, we're going to have to spend time to go back in. That's frustrating, and it makes us more stressed because now we know we've got another thing to do, another thing to attend to. So again, streamline your life and streamline the environment around you so that you can consciously get rid of those distractions. You do not have to have them in your life.
Outside, it's to me, I think about 2 forms of distractions, the exterior and the internal, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And, the external distractions, we have some control over because we can turn our phone off or we can close the door to our office or whatever it is. To me, I struggle with the internal ones, that it's that constant, I need to go find something shiny right now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Do you have recommendations for how I can get better control over that internal thing inside me?
Yeah, this is a huge problem for people. I get this question a lot, and I know that feeling of I should be working on this big report, but it's so difficult and it's going to take so much energy that it's easier for me to just go surf the web or check my email for a few minutes. And the mind hack or technique I found that's helpful is two things. First is in the morning, you make a list. I call it the 3-MIT list, 3 most important things, 3-MIT. And you just say, what are the 3 things I got to get done today to really move the needle? And you make that list, and then you get started on one of them right away. You don't start on the low value work like email and stuff like that just keeps you busy, but you tackle it while you're fresh, one of those things right away. And the second hack that I've used in conjunction with that, at the end of the day, you then look back on the day and say, what did I do today that actually moved the ball forward? Did I do anything that's really going to have a lasting impact? When I started doing this, Dave, I was surprised to find that a lot of times the answer was no. I was super busy, but I actually didn't do anything today that really will make a lasting difference. But once I started pairing those 2 hacks at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, I found my productivity went up drastically.
You talk about something in the book called a 1-hour investment that'll help us kind of reclaim our attention and help us eliminate distractions. I think we want to make that our one simple action for today. Can you describe what that 1-hour investment's all about?
Yeah, so today, make a commitment to just spend 1 hour turning off as many of these digital distractions as you can. So this is instant messages and text messages and all of those emails that you subscribe to that you don't really need, and the status messages that come up in your system tray and the blinking icons that are on the Windows 10 start screen. All of those things, spend 1 hour today shutting them all down. Turn them off. And that 1 hour is an investment that's going to pay off in improved productivity and less stress and more happiness for months and months to come. It's the best hour you will spend today and maybe all week.
You know, when we're talking about the brain blink or whatever you want to call it, it's like 90 seconds it takes you to get refocused. You think about how many times that happens to us in the day. That hour might be reclaimed in a single day, literally.
It's true. It's true, right?
Yeah.
Right. It pays off. And, you know, I'm a ruthless email unsubscriber. So as soon as I see something come in that that I know I can do without, I try to get it out immediately, because I know every one of those email lists I get off is just going to have a cascading effect in terms of positivity and productivity in the future.
Yeah, I find I see somebody and they're offering some free ebook or whatever. Sign up for our mailing list and we'll send you the 10 things you can do to, whatever.
Right.
And then I end up with that mail coming to my inbox every day for the rest of my life or whatever. And it's so simple to just go ahead and click unsubscribe, right? But sometimes we don't think about it. We're busy. We just delete them. Just take that 1 hour and get them all out of the way. And then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's right. Ruthlessly unsubscribe.
John, thank you. Great advice. Appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you again next time.
Thanks, Dave.
I know there's a great resource online you can use to unsubscribe from all those emails. It's called unroll.me. And last I knew, it worked with Gmail. I'm not sure if it works with other email services or not, but check it out. Again, it's unroll.me. Or you can take that 1 hour investment, just go through them yourself and click unsubscribe and get them out of the way. Good advice from John Hargrave. He's going to be back with us again next time. Hopefully you'll join me then. Also, I would ask you, if you've enjoyed the program, something you could do for us to give back a little is to rate and review us on iTunes. Simple to do. Just go to our website, onesimplethingonline.com. Look in the top menu. It says support the show. If you click on that, it takes you to links where you can rate and review us. You can also push it out on Facebook or Twitter or whatever else you'd like to do. So thank you for going there. Thank you for leaving us a rating and review. It really helps. I'm Dave Kirby. Again, appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time here on the One Simple Thing podcast.